Welcome back. Today we will talk about the main villain from Timeline Obsolete, Puppeteer, the All-Knowing. Puppeteer is another S-tier villain who is so powerful he destroyed both the heroes and villains in his world. Only 7 people survived the invasions. 6 of them were villains, but now they are a giant branch in HU. Even though there are only 6 of them, they have helped the other heroes incredibly. But we will cover them later in a different file. If you look at the thumbnail, you'll see that Puppeteer is just a floating pair of eyes, a mouth, and he can summon a near infinite amount of hands. While Puppeteer has a few powers in his base form, he has the ability to gain powers from 4 different orbs, the first giving him his base form. I'll go over what each orb does and what powers it gives him now. The first orb is the Godly Orb, and it is currently split in half. The Godly Orb gives Puppeteer 2 powers. The first is the ability to manipulate souls with soul strings. Soul strings are a kind of soul magic, which is magic made with a soul. Sort of self-explanatory. And Puppeteer can use these to manipulate the souls of others, turning them into mindless monsters. But select few are partially turned. They still have their will and original form, but at any time, Puppeteer can possess them. The second power the Godly Orb gives him is the ability to learn everything about a person if the soul string touches their soul. The second orb is the Draconic Orb. The Draconic Orb gives Puppeteer the ability to turn himself into a dragon. His hand turn into dragon heads so that he can breathe fire. The third orb is the Lycan Orb. The Lycan Orb gives Puppeteer the ability to turn himself into a giant wolf, and his hands grow into claws that can tear portals from the void to wherever he is. The fourth orb is the strongest orb. Whenever Puppeteer has this orb, this orb is known as the Storm Orb. Whenever Puppeteer has this orb, he becomes a storm with thousands of hands swirling around him. Swirling around the Storm Orb. And Puppeteer now has the ability to summon big, heavily armored monsters. The only way to stop the storm is to attack the orb, but it's near impossible to do for any agent. Only the hero from Timeline Obsolete can stop the storm. While Tobia is the strongest villain, Puppeteer is the smartest villain the heroes have ever seen. He knew that if he took out the heroes and villains, no one could stop him. But we know that plan failed due to 6 survivors now working to stop him. Puppeteer is number 4 on the most wanted list. And like Tobia, if you ever see Puppeteer, alert higher ranking agents. End of file. Well, that was the Puppeteer file. Puppeteer is one of the scariest villains I've ever seen, due to his ability to end fights in seconds, if you're not fast enough. But, like always, don't let that worry you. See you on the field. Brian, heading out.